Hi, I'm Shaylin and welcome to Cooking with the Robinsons. Today we're going to do a seasonal twist on a classic dessert. You don't want to miss this, stick around. So today we're making something amazing. It's going to be pumpkin spice latte cheesecake. How decadent does that sound? Great for the season holidays. So the ingredients that we're going to be using today is butter, cream cheese, sugar, vanilla, graham crackers, pumpkin, egg, coffee, and then a whole bunch of our good seasons, ginger, ground cloves, allspice, nutmeg, and cinnamon. If you want to have a full listing of all the ingredients and all the measurements, as always, look down below in the description and see more, and you'll be able to see a full listing of that. So the first step is setting your oven to get it all warmed up. So I previously set the oven to 350 degrees. While I'm waiting for that to warm up, I'm going to go ahead and work on the crust. So for the crust, we're just doing original graham crackers. And you can get any kind of graham cracker you like. I like the ones that don't have honey or sugar added, just the plain graham crackers. And what I've done is I went ahead and put the graham crackers in a plastic baggie, and I just hammered it out with this meat tenderizer on the flat side. And so once you hammer it out, you'll see it's about this consistency is what you're gonna want. You like to have a little bit of crumbles on there, but you don't want thick chunks. So I've taken out a cup and a half because that's what we're going to be using for this crust. You go ahead and add that to your bowl. And we're going to add our butter. This is 5 tablespoons. And then you're going to have 1 tablespoon of sugar. You're going to go ahead and mix it around, and you'll see the consistency that we're going to want is going to be just, you want it to be crumbly. You want to make sure all that butter gets on all of the graham crackers, but you don't want it to become mushy at all. So just continue to stir it until you get the consistency that you'd like. So now that I've gotten it to the consistency that I want, I'm going to be using a spring foam pan. And what I've done is I've put aluminum foil around it, and I've done 2 sheets of aluminum foil. Reason being, I've done this before, and basically what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting water in the bottom pan, and we're going to be laying this on top of it. The reason why I put 2 levels of aluminum foil is because I've put the water in before, and for some reason it seeped into the bottom of the crust, and there's nothing worse than a cheesecake with a soggy crust. So I just wanted to make sure that that water doesn't get in there at all. And actually one of my girlfriends, Kathy Leet, had told me about this little secret, and the reason why we do it in this water bath while it's cooking is because we want to make sure that it doesn't have any cracks on the top. Now, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I will tell you, ever since I've been using this technique, it works more times than not that you won't have any kind of cracks within the top of your cheesecake. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and put the graham cracker crust in the bottom of the pan. You're going to want to shift it around. And what you're going to use, just use your hands, and you're going to press down. What you want to do is get all those graham cracker crust crumbs all meshed together real tightly. And some people like to have just it on the lower. I kind of like to make it go up on the pan. It makes a little kind of rustic look whenever you have the cheesecake and you take it out of this spring foam pan, which I kind of like. So you just want to continue to press it until you don't want to see any holes like that. So continue to move around the mixture until you have a good bottom level of crust. And if you need to go ahead and take down some of the sides because it's not spreading on the bottom, that's the priority. The crust is done, it's cooling. We're gonna work on the cheesecake portion. I have 3 of the cream cheeses, and I put it in the blender. We're gonna go ahead and start mixing that up. While it's mixing up, I'm gonna go ahead and add the sugar. Now that I've added the sugar, We're gonna take 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Go ahead and add that in. And as you can see, the consistency now is starting to get really creamy. That's the consistency that we want. You don't want to whip this too much because it gets too airy. This is just what I want right here. And now's the fun, spicy part. We're gonna start with pumpkin. Add that in.
Who doesn't like a pumpkin pie or a pumpkin cheesecake?
Seriously. And then all the spices that are with it, and then, oh my gosh, coffee and pumpkin and spice. It just reminds me of the fall and winter. This is great for Thanksgivings, Christmas, all those types of parties. Now with the eggs, you'll want to crack one in at a time.
Why is that?
Well, it's real important because the consistency, and you're wanting to make sure that it gets blended thoroughly each time. Now we're with all those yummy spices. So we had, let's see, ground cloves, ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg, allspice, all that's in this mixture. Go ahead, put it all in. Keep it going, mix it up. Oh, looks amazing.
Smells good too.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's the same thing that's in a latte, that same kind of spice?
Yeah, same mixture.
Okay.
And then now we're gonna have the coffee flavor. Now my husband's not a big coffee fan, so when I told him I wanted to do this, he wasn't real happy about it, but that just means more for me.
That's right.
Put 1.5 teaspoons of just ground coffee in. I remember when I was in college, the big thing that I would do before exams or if I had to stay up late is I would have these coffee beans that were covered with chocolate, and I mean, you just have a couple of those and woo! So we'll see, this might wake us up after a big Thanksgiving meal. All right, it's blending up really good. Every once in a while, you want to go ahead and turn it off, and you'll want to use your spoon. Now this one still has a little bit of the cream before the spices were put in there. So go ahead and mix it up because you want to make sure that it all looks the same consistency. You can see right there, you can see the coffee, you can see the spices. So just want to scrape that off the sides and stir it again. We're looking like we're about done.
Looks delicious.
Mixture into the pan, and we're going to put it in the oven for 60 to 70 minutes. When that's done, take it out, put it on a rack for an hour, let it get to room temperature, and then put it in your refrigerator. Now it's really late at night here, so I won't be able to crack into this until tomorrow morning, but I cannot wait. So it's Thanksgiving morning, and I went ahead and whipped myself up some whipped cream. I added some vanilla and some sugar, and it is time to check out this pumpkin cheesecake that has a latte twist with pumpkin spice.
See the coffee grounds in there.
Mm-hmm. Creamy. I can taste all the spices. Those spices are amazing. Now this one does have a little lighter of a coffee flavor. So if you're gonna wanna have a really deep, hearty coffee flavor, you might wanna up the amount of coffee that I said, but it is good. It has a hint of coffee, lots of pumpkin, lots of spice, delicious. I can't wait to show it off today.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving.
Hey, Tracy. You never know if y'all make it pretty enough. Come on, Jeff.
Happy Thanksgiving.
There you go.